Hey everyone, it's December 8th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with likely serial killer Richard George Eberling, who probably murdered at least 6 victims, including the wife of Dr. Sam Shepard, which is the case that inspired The Fugitive. And that is him, right over there. Born in Cleveland in 1929 as Richard Lenardic to an unwed mother and alcoholic policeman father, Eberling ended up in foster care early in life. It was a miserable existence, as he was passed from family to family, obtaining very little actual parenting and just enough sustenance to survive. Eberling exhibited antisocial behavior at a young age, including frequent tantrums, compulsive masturbation, and the inability to learn to speak a language. His mother refused to allow him to be adopted into a stable home, and he was eventually given to the Eberling family, who housed multiple foster children, using them as cheap labor for their farm. He began to mimic the effeminate mannerisms of the girls in the home, and he quickly became a favorite of his foster mother, preferring to spend time indoors with her cleaning and wearing her clothes instead of playing with the boys. Eberling eventually graduated high school and started his own house cleaning business, making enough money to purchase the farm from his foster mother, legally changing his name to Richard George Eberling in 1948. 2 years prior, his foster father had died after suffering a stroke, and later reports indicate the man had ingested poison, which led to his condition. One aspect of Eberling's financial success was stealing valuables he came across while in people's homes, which led to a series of petty theft convictions. A noteworthy client of his was the Shepard family, and he was in their home on the day that Marilyn Shepard was murdered in 1954. Her husband, Dr. Sam Shepard, was convicted of her murder, but he was in fact an innocent man and was set free a decade later in a case that is often cited as the inspiration for The Fugitive, despite Eberling clearly having both his arms. 2 years later, he was involved in a fatal accident in which his girlfriend died when he swerved to allegedly avoid a truck, but it was nowhere near his vehicle, and many believe that he had murdered the woman and intentionally caused the accident to cover it up. In 1959, he was arrested for stealing from his clients and volunteered the information that he had cut himself in the Shepard home and bled all over, but having already secured a conviction, there was no desire by prosecutors to investigate that case any further. Dr. Shepard received a second trial in 1966 where he was exonerated, with Eberling one of the star witnesses called by famed lawyer F. Lee Bailey. By this point, he was living with a trio of wealthy elderly sisters who turned up dead one by one over the span of nearly 2 decades. One sister was killed in 1962, being found beaten to death in her bed. This is officially still an unsolved murder. 8 years later, another sister fell down the stairs, but it's speculated Eberling gave her a push. And in 1984, the final sister fell and died, leaving her estate to Eberling and his male lover. It was ruled an accident until 1987, when a woman came forward to confess to helping Eberling fake the woman's will after he backed out on paying her a share of the estate. The body was exhumed and determined to have been murdered, and in 1989, Eberling was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. While behind bars, he confessed to killing Marilyn Shepard, but later recanted his confession when questioned about it by investigators. Eberling died in prison of natural causes in 1998. Was he a sextuple murderer? Probably. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Richard George Eberling, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.